It's official. We have a massive update surrounding New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields, as revealed by head coach Aaron Glenn in multiple New York Jets updates, with also two of the Jets franchise cornerstones speaking out on the season thus far, revealing the truth on how they fully intend to turn this season around and why exactly they do believe they are going to turn this thing around. And we're going to go over all of that. There's a lot to discuss here, and we are going to jump right into it. But guys, before we do that, if you are part of that 66% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Jets updates from myself and Matt. I know we haven't done duo videos in a while. We are going to get back to that. We actually do have plans to live stream, watch some of the games, so you can do some watch alongs. You can watch the game with us. You can watch as me and Matt freak out. Mainly Matt, he's the one who freaks out more, but it'll be fun. You should definitely join in. But let's jump into the video. There is a lot to go over on the New York Jets right now. As we know, Justin Fields is absolutely in a situation that nobody wants. He had a concussion and he missed week 3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Excuse me, the lack of a background just threw me off here. But when it comes down to it, what we've seen out of Justin Fields has been not great, for sure. He hasn't had the best season thus far by any means, but you don't want him down with the concussion, obviously, and the Jets do want to know if there is a world where Justin Fields can be the franchise quarterback. As of right now, obviously, we haven't seen that from a man who's 0-2 this season, has 245 yards across his 2 games, and obviously had that atrocious game against the Buffalo Bills, given he didn't play the whole game, but he played enough of it to where we knew what was happening, had one of the worst QBRs we've ever seen in a single game. But when it comes down to it, Justin Fields now in a huge update is revealed to be playing on Monday night, when, as revealed by Rich Cimini, Justin Fields has been cleared and will start Monday night per Aaron Glenn. And as Cimini mentioned, the offense sputtered for 3 quarters last week with Tyrod Taylor, who rallied the team with 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter, with 2 touchdown passes, that is, in an eventual 29-27 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was one of the worst losses we've seen just because the Jets were right there. It did feel like the Jets were ultimately going to win that game after, obviously, Will McDonald had one of the best defensive plays I've ever seen. And, of course, the defense didn't hold on. They just didn't. I mean, the Jets defense has a whole lot of holes right now. Obviously, Sauce being out was not helpful either. But that was excellent defense by Azariah Thomas. You can't blame him for that pass getting through. It was just an excellent catch. And after that, it just kind of felt like the writing was on the wall. Obviously, they burned the clock, and it was not a chip shot, but we knew it was happening. Look, it was rough. It definitely sucked to watch that whole thing go down. I was going nuts. I was watching it in a car. I was freaking out. I was shaking the driver of the car. But not the point. Look, the Jets, they're 0-3 now, and they definitely need to change the way things are going. And honestly, it's kind of interesting because Tyrod Taylor thus far, his numbers have been better over these 2 games, and he has played a little bit less of these games. He's got 70% pass completion, which, I mean, compared to Fields, is a lot better. Justin Fields has 245 yards. Tyrod Taylor has 253 yards. Tyrod Taylor has 3 touchdown passes. Justin Fields has 1 touchdown pass. Obviously, he's rushed for 2 touchdowns, so that's something that Taylor hasn't done. So we have to be aware of that. But at the end of the day, right now, Tyrod Taylor's been the better player throughout this season thus far. But they are going to go with Justin Fields as the starter. Maybe that does change some point down the line. But right now, the Jets are going to go ahead with Justin Fields because they want to know. The team wants to know, is it possible that Justin Fields is the real franchise cornerstone? Maybe it's not going to happen in week 1, week 2, week 3. But eventually, is he going to be able to really get things going? And that's the big thing that we have to ask ourselves, because we've seen Justin Fields go absolutely nuclear the one time that he played the Miami Dolphins. He went 17 for 28, had 123 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 178 rushing yards, which was the NFL record by a QB, 1 61-yard touchdown run. And now Justin Fields will face an even worse Dolphins defense. He'll spark a Jets winning streak, as Justin Fields fan club mentioned. So it is a lot to consider just going into everything right now because of this whole Jets just rough start. Now, as Rich Cimini mentioned, their offense looked dynamic in week 1. As Fields rushed for 2 touchdowns and passed for another, as the Jets racked up 394 total yards in a 34-32 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been trying to get back to that formula, and Aaron Glenn said, we have to run the ball better. Listen, I know we're going against 3 really good teams, the past teams that we've played, but that doesn't matter to me. I have an expectation of this team on how we operate, and I'm not going to stand down from that, and our guys won't stand down from that. So as always, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Aaron Glenn, just the chronic thing where he just cannot stop saying the right thing all the time. And he's absolutely right. Look, the Jets played 3 playoff teams. So, they still lost the game. They're still 0-3. What does that show? That you're not a playoff team. So, Obviously, Glenn, he's not going to stand for that. He's not just going to let the Jets roll over. And a lot of the Jets players do feel very similarly as well. I mean, we need Fields to get back to this guy, but also two of the Jets franchise cornerstones in Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson both spoke out on the Jets being 0-3, how they feel on the season and what needs to change. And it really was very, very good quotes that we heard from both guys. As it was mentioned by Sauce Gardner, it's so easy to just look at our record and get down. The reality is we're a field goal and a stop away from being 2-1 and then in this building, mentally, we're here. Mentally, we're still very confident, and we know what we're capable of doing. And, I mean, that's the thing. Sauce is right. Like, as much as we don't want to hear it because the no moral victories thing, he's not wrong. The Jets are 2 field goals away from being 2-1. And that falls mainly on the defense more than anyone else. And Sauce is one of the best defenders in the NFL, or at least there's the expectation. He wasn't last season, and this season's been a little shaky. But when it comes down to it, we need the Jets defense to be better. I don't think the personnel's very good, personally. I mean, we know that Quinnen Williams is absolutely alone on the defensive line, which is horrific. The defensive line is really, really bad. It's the worst in the NFL. But Quinnen Williams is a superstar. It's just a matter that there's no one else there. The Jets didn't bother to go get anyone else to really help because they wanted to see what Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson could do. Obviously, Johnson is still not really back from the Achilles situation. And then there's also, I mean, with Johnson also, when I say he's not back from the Achilles situation, I mean, it's going to take some time for him to really just get his legs under him, and obviously he's not playing right now, so there's also that. But Will McDonald, also very good. But the Jets, they don't have a pass rush outside of Will McDonald. And Quinnen Williams, yeah, he can definitely a good pass rushing defensive tackle, but he's more of a run stopper than anything else. At the same time, he's alone as the defensive tackle. There's no other defensive tackle there who's doing anything. So it's a tough situation for the Jets right now, but the defense just has to be better. And that's the big thing here. Obviously, Sauce would agree, too. We know how Sauce Gardner operates. He's not going to be... Like, I know he's not seeing this, but I'm 100% certain that Sauce Gardner, Aaron Glenn, Steve Wilkes, Quincy Williams, who I know is out right now, but all that stuff, Jamie and Sherwood, all of them, they're all probably thinking, all right, well, the defense has to be better, obviously. That's the situation that we have to handle because we can control it. Now, Garrett Wilson also spoke out and said, we all in this locker room feel like we're close, and there's a few plays that we're leaving here on the field and there that have us in this hole at 0-3. The reality of this is that's where we are. We're 0-3, but we've got to find a way to get over that hump this week. Find a way to get on board. It's not terrible, but still not what we want. We need to find a way to get 7 on the first drive. We don't want to be a second half team because sometimes you put yourself in too big of a hole. So again, the offense as well has to be better. Frankly, it all has to be better. We know that. We know that it all has to be better. And I mean, the two players individually have had their moments, don't get me wrong. I mean, Sauce, thus far, I mean, not gonna knock your socks off right now this season. He's got 3 pass deflections. He's got 10 total tackles. Like, it's not great out of Sauce, but again, he did miss some time in that last game with a head injury, so we have to be aware of that. I think Garrett Wilson's been actively good. It would help if they had any other wide receiver threat or receiving threat at all, but they don't, and if they had more consistent quarterback play. But Wilson's still been solid. He's got 229 yards with 21 receptions and 2 touchdowns. So he's still been good. There's no doubt about it that Garrett Wilson's a phenomenal player. It's just a matter of actually getting someone who can get him the ball. This is really going to be a big storyline this week. Can Justin Fields get his guys the ball? Can Justin Fields put the offense in position to win? And if Justin Fields can put himself and his team in the position to win, can the Jets coach, who is a defensive first guy just on the sense of where he comes from being a defensive coordinator, can Aaron Glenn, Steve Wilkes, and the Jets defense start to hold teams down? I know the Dolphins can be dynamic because they got speed threats. I understand that. This is a real test. The Dolphins are 0-3. If the Jets win this game, you start to get some life again in that team because you start to think, all right, that's a win. You just pile them up. This is a winnable game. You do it in the spotlight. You show, hey, we lost 2 games to 2 teams that both happen to be, that both happen to be playoff teams, and it was off a field goal. And then obviously we got absolutely pummeled by the Bills, but they're the Bills, so it is what it is. Like, we know we're not better than the Bills. No, nobody's saying we are, but the Buccaneers, the Steelers, we gave them a really good run for their money. We gave them a scare. So now what the Jets have to do is go out there and show, hey, we're more than just trying to give teams a scare. Now we're trying to say, all right, now we got it down. We got to get Aaron Glenn his first win as a head coach and start to move forwards from there. And this is the perfect week to try to get it done. Do you think the Jets are going to win this week? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to get back to you, like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Go Jets.